In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
We are pretty much the entire encompassing lineup of the Lost Angels. But there's one member missing, but I'm going to leave it up to Troy Patrick Farrell, drummer, and basically the sort of he's the anchor because he's the one that makes the most phone calls and makes the most emails to us. Talk about how each lineup sort of exists and how it started and what year was it?
Well, it goes back to 2010, believe it or not. And I got an email from a promoter, and that's a whole nother story. We'll get there eventually. Anyway, he says, hey, can you bring like a Gilby Clarke here? Who can you bring over here? We want to have Guns N' Roses. I said, well, can't do that, but I've got some friends I can call. And so we called Muddy Stardust. He's the OG bass player. Muddy was in LA Guns. He was in Burning Tree with Mark Ford from the Black Crowes, and he's played with Chris Robinson's Brotherhood. And so he was there, and we had, of course, Mr. Eric Dover there in your top right. And then, of course, John Corabi. And the four of us traveled 33 hours to India, to the Northeast Territory, and did our first shows in 2 soccer stadiums, and that was in 2010.
So nowhere to go but down, but because I didn't play a soccer stadium.
Oh no, dude! You haven't heard about the trip yet. So I'm just saying, like, okay, I'm just saying that pick the worst club on earth would be a step up from what we did that time. We had a blast, but it was little interesting. Between Eric Dover eating ghost peppers, the guys with fucking bags at these soccer stadiums that Troy speaks so highly of. A dude with a bag putting fucking like live snakes in it, and the entire stage being made of bamboo, and then the promoter getting taken off by some dude in royalty at gunpoint, being told that he has to pay us. It was an awesome trip.
You guys didn't have your veils on. That there had to have been something. No. So what started out as a stadium ended up as a Foot Locker, it sounds like.
Well, we did play these soccer stadiums, but what had happened was, short story long, is that the promoter, when you take on a show, especially one that's international, you're going to get 50% up front, and then when you get there or before you leave now, you get the balance. Well, what he did was he made the first show, which because he subcontracted out the first gig, and he made that guy pay in full. So he never had to come up with any money until we got out there. And then what happened was ultimately, because I had some friends there from some previous relations in White Lion, the king of Tripura, well, I won't say that, the king of India, let's say that, had to help me out and have a little chit chat with our promoter. And needless to say, we were kind of like a live jukebox. We weren't going to go on because we had not been paid. And the Ministry of Entertainment or whatever, sort of like the city council that was helping sponsor the show, says, you have to go on or there's going to be a riot. Of course, we didn't want anybody to get hurt, but we had to take care of business. So we said, well, go get us whatever money you have. So the little promoter guy goes running around to each cash bank, grabbing what he could in rupees, and then paying us. We all had our suitcases on stage, so we count out the first thing of money. We go, okay, 2 songs. We play 2 songs. He'd come back with more money, and then we'd play 3 more songs, and that's how it was the whole night.
Wow. So to make a long story longer, I'd like to hear Eric Dover's memories of that Indian tour, because that started basically, I think Eric Dover and Troy Patrick, they've done all of the shows. We've all sort of, I guess we're just hired guns for the Eric Dover, Troy Patrick Farrell project. But at the end of the day, what was your memories about that, Eric Dover? Appreciate the opportunity.
I still have a lot of memories. It's like John said. I mean, you'll never forget your road trip to Shillong. That was like an incredible journey and very dangerous. I've never seen any. Well, just the drivers in India anyway. It's like rally car style. Like all the traffic is heading, straight towards you, and that was something. And getting stranded at the airport when we were leaving too, because I actually went out to have a smoke or something, and then I couldn't get back in, and had to jump a cab somewhere to go to another airport. And me and John were traveling back, and I was flipping out, and John was flipping out. We made it home eventually, but that's some of the memories.
I'm so sorry I missed it.
No, dude, this could possibly be like one of the greatest comedy movies. Like if they did like a Help by the Beatles kind of thing, and it's just Lost Angels go to India, done. And I'm literally talking about. So Dover, we're at dinner, and Dover goes, "Oh, I love hot peppers. I'm Cajun. I eat everything." And he reaches into this bowl and he was going to throw this pepper into his mouth. The guy almost slapped it out of his hand and gave him a piece of this pepper that was like the size of a matchstick. And it was hilarious because Dover was like sweating. And then he came out of the house the next day and he's like, "Dude, I don't know what I ate last night, but I'm shitting food that I haven't even eaten yet." It was crazy. And then Muddy, and then if I don't know if you guys remember all the guys had to go to this, they wanted to write home. So they went to this internet cafe, and it was like, the old school, that kind of shit. So I'm like, fuck this. I go outside to smoke a cigarette, and there was literally like a butcher next door with this wood shanty shack with a pig fillet on the flies. And I'm like, and the next day the guy goes, "Oh, would you like bacon and eggs, sir?" I'm like, "Fuck no, just give me the toast and coffee and double brew everything." It was crazy. The entire trip was but it was fucking one of the funnest experiences of my life. It was awesome. And then Dover, as he was just saying, we're at an airport to fly home. Troy and Muddy give us 2 tickets to fly home. And they go, "Oh, yeah, you fly here to here, and then you get on your next flight, you go home." And then Dover and I get on the flight, and I'm looking at the ticket, and I go, "Holy shit." It's like 5 o'clock is our first flight, 7 is our second flight, but it was 5 p.m. was the first flight, 7 a.m. was the second flight. So we literally sat in an airport for like 14 hours or 12 hours or some shit. And it was hilarious. Dover walked past this sign that was like 30 feet high with like 8-foot letters that said, "No in and out. Do not go outside. You can't get back in." And he went out, he had a cigarette, and I'm just sitting there. This guy with a machine gun wouldn't let him in. It was crazy. It was awesome.
So basically what I'm hearing is pretty much a flawless tour, just get to right out of the gate. I mean, that's Lost Angels in a nutshell, everybody that's watching. That's basically a good day on some of the tours that we have been on.
Lost with this thing is everything.
Yes, India, Mexico, crazy.
So that's the thing. Lost Angels has been very international because out of the gate, I wasn't there, but Eric wasn't part of that. EJ wasn't part of that, but you guys are in India. But then the next gig, and this is where I learned my parts from. I didn't really need to learn them because if you guys know, we play the international set list, folks. And if anybody doesn't know what the international set list, just pick any sort of band that has the name All Star in it and check out their set list. And I'm sure that's pretty much the lion's share of the songs, right? Not white lion's share, but just the lion's share.
I'm Ryan Roxie, and I've taken all my years of experience of playing guitar, and I want to pass the torch of rock and roll on to you. Check out the System 12 Guitar Method.
I don't give a damn about the media.